Well, welcome back, everyone, to our final segment here on Community Focus. Jerry Anders is here with me. And of course, I go back in time and I said, okay, Jerry, you've written these cute books. And I was looking at all of the pictures and even a wonderful kind of a backstory on you and your life. And I love is it a site called How It Was?
HowItWas.com.
HOWITWUZ.com. HowItWas.com. I am so excited about it because every time anybody thinks about how do I let my kids know what I did when I was their age, this is the answer. So, Jerry Anders, it's wonderful to see you here.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about financial advisors. They scare me to death. So we're going to talk about And of course, everybody has to know you are with Wells Fargo. That's your day job, of course.
Right.
But what made you get into this?
Well, it's really a result of being in that seat as a financial advisor for 25 years.
Sure.
And, part of our job is to talk to people a little bit, not only about their goals going forward, but try and understand their histories.
Oh, sure.
So then we can make better decisions on their investments. Well, as I started doing this, I just really started to realize that all these people have great histories and great stories, and I got in the habit of asking them, do you think really maybe you should write some of this down and save it for your family and future generations? And almost universally, the answer I would get was, yeah, I've thought about it, but I really don't know where to start or how to do it. And after hearing that for, years, it's really started to bother me. I go, there's got to be a better way that people can get a source or a tool that people can turn to. It's an all-in-one, user-friendly, easy process where they can write down their family histories or their histories, or we really take it wherever they want. And that's what I've developed.
I bet you saw a lot of frustration, too, because when people know that they would love to do this, but they have no idea how to do it.
Yes. A lot of frustration, and people really knew they should do this, but they really just didn't know how.
You know what I always think, because I think so frequently about it now, and when I heard from you and realized you were doing this, I could hardly wait to get you on. And, of course, checking out the website, howitwas.com. And then I realized there were so many questions that I wish I had asked my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had just even sat by her bedside at the very end and written something down.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't do that.
Right. My big goal in this would be to try and convince financial planners, estate attorneys, estate planning attorneys to say to their clients, okay, look, we're taking care of the passing on of your wealth, all your material wealth. But there's something else you should pass on also, and that's your history, your stories, what was going through your head when you were growing up, and all the experiences that you had and lessons that you want to pass on.
And it might even make you change your mind about who you want to leave things to. It's a great way to get out the real story.
Right.
No, this is wonderful because you, Jerry Anders, as a financial advisor with Wells Fargo, of course, knowing that you have this backstory of questioning individuals and realizing what it is that they're looking for. But you said it was easy. Now, you have brought in, I think, two of the most beautiful examples. You have one, a life story and observations of a gentleman. May I say his name?
Yeah, sure. He's in agreement with that.
Robert Marshall. And he looks like an aviator.
Right.
And he is at this point in his life, how old?
90.
90 years old. And this is the most wonderful book. It shows the aircrafts that he was part of. It shows his story. How in the world did you get it all in writing, though?
Well, he was very active. But, going back to that thought that people would say, I really don't know where to start or how to do this. They're not writers. They were successful in their lives, but they're not writers. I've developed templates. And the idea is that, for instance, this is one. You can look at some of the questions on there.
Yes.
But the idea is to sort of lead people through their lives as if they're being interviewed, which I'm sure you can relate to. But we want to sort of lead them through their lives as if they're being interviewed. They can decide to write about that subject or not. But if they just keep choosing subjects they want to write about and
but these are great because why I want to write this. Just if you put that down and write that answer to that question and have your children see that kind of leads you into your next phase. My mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my biggest accomplishment, the worst trouble I ever got into. I love that. I bet you. This is great. The early school years, because this makes it all, the outline is terrific.
Yeah, hopefully it just kind of, I think once they get going, it just pulls them through and it becomes quite enjoyable.
Oh, it does, because you've taken it step by step, even later on the second page, my best or proudest accomplishment in college. I mean, so you've got everything that would bring back a memory to someone. All right, I have a big question for you. Now, I hope she's not listening, but my sister, who's up in Melbourne, and every time I see something in a website called If You Grew Up in Melbourne, whereas I grew up, and I'll see something, and I'll write to this person and say, where in the world did you get that information? Because to me, it's wrong.
Oh.
And she'll say, I got it from your sister. So what can you say? So here, I guess I'm saying it, Deanne, I'm just kidding. But it just seems to me that how do you know, or does it matter that it's not precise?
Well, I think what we're doing here is different than genealogy.
Oh, okay.
Genealogy is pretty intense research. You're going back for facts and figures, and it's almost like you're a detective, but that's going back past generations. But we're trying to do it. You might be a little bit about your parents and your grandparents there, but we're trying to get you about you, and that story.
I love this. Of course, some of the craziest things the kids did. I mean, that you have covered everything. And now, is this what you give a client or is this what's on your website?
Right. The idea of the website, it's a one-stop. You go there, you create an account, you choose a template, you start writing there. Every time you leave and come back, it's saved.
How
then
fabulous.
Once the work is done, you can use our editors or proofreaders to proof it, and then we go to printing on it.
Because it says this storyline roadmap is designed for the writer that really wants to produce a detailed and complete picture of their life and experiences, including some genealogy of their family, and the storyline roadmap goes on. And you have everything. What is it? You even have something down here about our Thanksgiving traditions. Who would think about that if you were just talking about your background? You wouldn't think of that.
Yeah, but
here you
it's
have
meaningful to some families.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My first best friend. Oh, I just think this is fantastic. It almost makes cleaning out the drawers at home a little easier for you. But and the best times, the worst times, getting ahead, so many wonderful things that you can do. So tell me, how do we go about it, though?
Well, anybody wants to see the website, they can go, of course, to www.howitwaz.com. That's HOWITWUZ.
One word.
.com. And I am going to be giving presentations to clubs and groups in the community, so hopefully we'll have a live tutorial.
Oh, great.
And anybody that has a club or organization that might want to hear that, I'll be happy to do it.
I'm looking here, too, because you talk about Google searching for years for different individuals and helping to get that up.
Well,
there's Ancestry.com and things like that.
Well, what I found, in doing my research, and I'm using Google to do some advertisement, there's 400,000 searches per year just in the U.S. for people looking for help writing their memoirs or help writing their autobiographies. So the topic is out there, and there's a lot of people would like some help. Hopefully they can.
One of the things that scares me the most, though, is that when we think about even Googling, because you have to know what the internet is doing. How secure are you when you're using your site?
Absolutely secure. We're encrypted. Everybody's account is safe and encrypted. I've had the question, who owns the book? Well, obviously the writer absolutely owns the book, has all rights. We don't sell any lists. Their name goes to no one except, of course, the printers.
Sure.
When we send them the book. But otherwise, it's very, very...
Well, you have a printer here. You said you had to do something, so you did it on yourself. And it's the ups and downs and observations of a traveling surfer and his family. When I said to Carl that I was going to... He said, oh, my gosh, he's a surfer. Everybody knows you, Jerry Anders, as a surfer. You still surfing?
Yes.
Oh,
sure
boy.
am.
Well, you have this really it's a kind of a letter size 8 by 11 book that has pictures from every single generation practically in your life. That has to be such fun to get it and put together. So once again, on this cute, who is this in the very back? I wish we had
That's my granddaughter.
Oh, look at her. taking a sniff of a hibiscus. Look at that, Hamp.
She is 14 now, though.
She's 4.
She's about 12. I mean, 2 years old in that picture.
But that is just wonderful. So you can really make things and make it just so beautiful. And beautiful trips, you on a surfboard as well. I have to say, though, that doing it yourself has to be what would be scary. I can see someone coming and saying, okay, I'm going to interview you. But then when you really start considering it, Jerry Anders, taking your time, writing it down, having it there, going away for a day or two, coming back to it has to be fabulous.
It is, and I want people to have a slight understanding of, to me, how important this is. And that's one reason we really want to do it with quality, because we think these books could be around for generations to come. We want to do it right. We want to make it impressive. We want to do the proofreading and the editing, so it's really a professional book. Because, first of all, it's probably going to go out to all the brothers and sisters and all the kids and grandkids.
And you never know, it just might be in the Library of Congress.
And, yeah, that would be nice, a few of them, but also future generations.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking at them, and they are first class, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, we can get all this information by going to
HowItWas.com.
HowItWas.com. That's HOWITWUZ.com. That's HowItWas.com. Absolutely fantastic. Very quickly, kind of a cost?
Yeah. About $10 to $12 per book.
You're kidding. Just that?
Well, yeah, but there's a 25 book minimum. So you're going to put out a little bit of money.
But my golly, I thought you were going to say $400 a day or something.
Yeah, but is each one of those person worth $10 or $12 to you?
You betcha. Yeah. You betcha. Oh, my gosh. Of course, you're talking to somebody who has 4 great-grandchildren, so we're going to have a lot of books. Jerry, thanks so very much. How was it?
How It Was.
How It Was. I know I do that. HowItWas.com. That is what you want to check out and really have a wonderful time with it. Thanks so very much. Life stories of everyone. Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
And everybody, always remember, say your prayers, brush your teeth, say please and thank you, no sir, yes ma'am, and always tell those you love that you do.